On a recent episode of Good Morning Britain, viewers witnessed a deeply moving moment when presenter Richard Madeley struggled to hold back his emotions during a heartfelt tribute to a longtime friend who had recently passed away. The 69-year-old broadcaster, who was co-hosting the ITV morning show alongside Kate Garraway, became visibly affected as he reflected on the loss of someone who had been a significant part of his life for half a century. This poignant segment unfolded toward the conclusion of an interview with guest Stephen Mangan, the well-known actor from The Split, who had joined the program to discuss the forthcoming series of Landscape Artist of the Year. The conversation had initially centered on the creative aspects of the art competition show, with Stephen sharing insights into the upcoming season and the challenges and joys involved in showcasing emerging landscape artists. However, as the interview drew to a close, Richard felt compelled to shift the tone and honor a mutual acquaintance who had recently died. With his voice trembling and his eyes welling up, he addressed the camera and his guests directly, explaining that he could not let the segment end without acknowledging this profound loss. Richard began by saying he wanted to offer a brief but sincere tribute to a very good friend shared between himself and Stephen. He named the individual as Stuart Prebble, a respected figure in the television industry. Kate Garraway, sensing the weight of the moment, gently interjected to affirm how close Stuart had been to Richard over the years. This small encouragement seemed to steady Richard momentarily, but the emotion was unmistakable as he continued speaking. He revealed that he had known Stuart for an impressive 50 years, a friendship spanning decades of personal and professional milestones. Tragically, Stuart had passed away earlier that year following a difficult battle with illness. Richard noted that their final encounter had been at Stuart's funeral, a detail that underscored the permanence of the goodbye and intensified the sorrow he was feeling in that studio moment. Despite the pain, Richard managed to describe Stuart as a very beautiful man, someone whose absence was keenly felt by those who had known him best. Stephen Mangan, listening attentively, responded with genuine warmth and admiration. He complimented Richard on the beauty and eloquence of the words he had chosen, telling him directly, "You spoke really beautifully." This acknowledgement appeared to touch Richard deeply, reinforcing the shared grief between the two men who had both lost a dear friend. Kate Garraway, ever the supportive co-host, praised Richard's character in the aftermath, calling him a lovely, lovely person for taking the time to express such heartfelt sentiments on live television. Stuart Prebble had enjoyed a long and accomplished career in broadcasting. He served in high-profile roles, including as CEO of ITV, Granada Sky Broadcasting, and ITV Digital, demonstrating his significant influence in shaping television content and distribution. Earlier in his professional journey, he had worked with the BBC, contributing to a range of programs that showcased his versatility and commitment to quality storytelling. Among his notable credits as an executive producer were BBC Two's popular series Grumpy Old Men, as well as documentaries and features such as Why We Went to War, The Alastair Campbell Diaries, and Willy's Wonky Chocolate Factory. These projects highlighted his ability to blend entertainment with insightful commentary on society, politics, and everyday life. Beyond television, Stuart was also a prolific author, having published 11 books over the course of his life. His written works included titles like A Power in the Land, The Insect Farm, and Black and Blue, which spanned genres and demonstrated his intellectual curiosity and narrative skill. His personal life reflected a series of meaningful relationships. He had been married to Barbara Gifford from 1973 to 1978, then to Marilyn Charlton from 1978 until 2020, and finally to Samantha Richards starting in 2020. Stuart passed away at the age of 74 in August of the previous year after a courageous fight against pancreatic cancer, a disease that claimed his life far too soon. The emotional weight of Richard's tribute resonated beyond the immediate studio setting. It served as a reminder of how grief can surface unexpectedly, even in the midst of a busy live broadcast where the focus is typically on lighter topics or current events. Richard's willingness to share such vulnerability highlighted the human side of television presenting, where anchors are not just delivering news but are people with deep personal connections and losses of their own. This was not an isolated instance of raw emotion on Good Morning Britain that week. Just the day before, guest Callum Best had also become tearful while discussing his mother Angie's ongoing battle with cancer. Callum, the 44-year-old son of football icon George Best and his ex-wife Angie, appeared on the show to raise awareness about the disease and encourage viewers to seek early medical checks. He described his mother's diagnosis as traumatizing and all-consuming, recounting how a 30 cm tumor in her colon had metastasized to her liver. In a desperate bid for treatment, he had arranged for her to receive chemotherapy at a clinic in Zurich, a process that had left her exhausted but determined.